a community, you went in the South Bronx, somebody said, well, what happens if I what happens if I take this spoon and bang it up against a pot in the pan and add some bass to it? And next thing Cool Herc is going through the city and he's got this $1 billion, you know, idea, that's spreading like wildfire, right? Like we create these things, right? But then somehow other people are the ones who make all the money. And this is not new. This has been going on for a very long time. You go back to the Chitlin circuit, a guy like Jimi Hendrix, he spends all this time on the Chitlin circuit, and he was still Jimmy on the Chitlin circuit. He didn't turn into Jimi Hendrix when he got to London. He was always Jimi Hendrix, but somehow his brand in that space was different from the brand in this space. I can tell you a lot of it has to do with business. It has to do, fame is manufactured. Fame is manufactured just like you manufacture a car. And we think fame has to do with talent, and talent is a what in mathematics we call a necessary condition for fame, perhaps, but not a sufficient condition. But now it's not even necessary. It's not even necessary to have talent to be famous. There are lots of untalented famous people. Like look at the Kardashians. What talent do they have other than, what Kim did 20 years ago, right? So, but a lot of people could do that. There's a lot of y'all women could pull off a Kim Kardashian. You just don't advertise it on the internet. So shout out to people that believe in decency. Now, with that said, let's circle back to HBCUs and let's solve this Scooby-Doo mystery. Why is it that we have all the talent, but other people are making all the money? Why is it that our institutions never seem to grow beyond a certain point? Their growth is stunted, but other institutions are flourishing, and they're flourishing because of this essential ingredient called the black athlete. Black athletes, black people are the ones who are making, these universities great and everything else. You watch a big basketball game, a lot of those athletes are black. So this circles back to conversations about how we view HBCUs versus how we view predominantly white institutions. A lot of that has to do with money, period, right? Whoever has the most money tends to be the place that people want to be. If people tend to want two things a lot of times in life. Public figures want two things. They want money and fame. Money and fame. So a big white university with access to distribution networks, television deals, et cetera, NIL money and all that, they can produce both. They can give you lots of money and lots of fame, and they can give it to you at a level that a black institution typically cannot. At Norfolk State, can't give Michael Vick uh, a Deion Sanders type of deal. They can't. Right. And why is that? Well, because they say, look, we're this tall. We're 4'5". Colorado is 10'2". They're 10 feet tall. We can't be 10 feet tall. We can only be as tall as we are. So what I'm expecting to happen, and I've seen this happen before, and a lot of you probably know what it is, that it seems like the HBCUs have become a stepping stone to something bigger and better for individuals that nobody will hire, right? But let me ask you an honest question. Honest question. If let's say the University of, let's pick a mediocre school. If the University of Idaho was to offer, that's probably the whitest place on earth. If the University of Idaho offered Michael Vick, let's say $1 million a year to coach D1 football at Idaho, do you think that he would pass Norfolk State up for that job? Do you think that that job would be the one that he'd take? What do y'all think? I'd be curious to know what you think. Or Deion Sanders. If you remember, Deion Sanders couldn't get a job anywhere. What the white folks didn't want to, he wanted to work at Florida State and other places. From what I understood, again, I'm not judging, I'm not pretending to know everything, but from what I recall, I remember it was kind of this frustrating thing where this guy clearly could coach,